Aaron, what is our first main topic today?
Our first main topic comes to us from Aiden W. Hey, John, Dune was my favorite film of the year 2021, and one of the big reasons was how the visual effects took me out of the movie theater and right into Arrakis. Wondering what your thoughts were on it winning top prize at the Visual Effects Awards yesterday. I personally think it's well-deserved. Do you agree, or should another film have won?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yes, so the other day, I believe it's the Visual Effects Society, the VES, had their annual awards. And other than the Oscars, this is the big awards for the visual effects industry, for what they're doing. And probably something that's going to give us a pretty clear insight into what we can maybe expect happen at the Oscars as far as the visual effects go. And yes, you're right. No surprise, Dune took top prize, which was totally exciting to see, because you're right. I remember when I saw Dune, the first time I saw it, the way you just described it was perfect. It absolutely teleported you out of the movie theater. You felt like you were in Arrakis. And that has a lot to do with the cinematography, but then partnering with the cinematography, the visual effects that they did in that. This comes to us from Variety, who wrote the following. Dune has taken top honors at the VES Awards, garnering 4 awards, including photoreal feature winner. Disney's Encanto was named top animated film, also winning 4 awards. The Visual Effects Society, VES, the industry's global professional honorary society, held the 20th annual VES Awards, the prestigious yearly celebration that recognizes outstanding visual effects artistry and innovation in film, animation, television, commercials, video games, and special venues. This marks the Society's 20th VES Awards program and is being celebrated during the organization's milestone 25th anniversary. Industry guests gathered at the Beverly Hilton to celebrate VFX talent in 25 award categories. Foundation, The Emperor's Piece, was named Best Photoreal Episode. And I do want to talk about that for a second as well. So first of all, bravo. I mean, Dune did have some spectacular effects, but the strength to me of the VFX in Dune was not the big spectacular set piece effects, like with the flying and the air combat. It was
the butthole monster.
The butthole monsters, yes, of course. It was the world they created. I never once felt like I was taken out of it, and that had a lot to do with the effects. So let's take a look at a couple of the winners here, because as they mentioned, Encanto won for Best Visual Effects in Animation. Of course, Outstanding Visual Effects in a Photoreal Feature, that went to Dune. Outstanding Supporting Visual Effects in a Photoreal Feature, Last Night in Soho. Although I will confess to you right now, I don't really understand what Best Supporting Visual Effects are. I'm going to assume it has to do with a certain level of effects, like the background and things like that. That's my guess. I don't really know. And I worked in the visual effects industry, so I don't really know. But one of the cool ones that I love seeing was that for television and series, The Emperor's Piece for Foundation. Now, I know not a lot of people talk about Foundation. Like for some people, Foundation was a little bit underwhelming. I loved it. I absolutely adored Foundation.
I really liked it too.
Like Lee Pace, the whole mythology of the 3 emperors, what do they call it? The genetic dynasty? Is that what they called it? Like the whole mythology of that, the way it skips through time. I mean, I adored it. And for a television series, the effects I thought were absolutely phenomenal. So I love seeing this. And yeah, I do believe this is a precursor to the Oscars. I think we can expect to see Dune win Best Visual Effects. I mean, obviously there are going to be some other big ones in the running. Rob, do you agree with Dune taking this? Do you think maybe when we get to the Oscars, maybe another one might have a chance, another film might have a chance against it? How do you see this?
Obviously, visual effects is my jam. You know, I have every issue of Cinefex magazine. I've loved visual effects even since before Star Wars. This movie had some of the most astonishing visual effects ever put on film or digitally captured. And I think you explained exactly why. There, you know, John, I'm always looking for verisimilitude, but the world that is created in Dune, there is not a moment where you're like, oh, that's a matte painting. Or, oh, that's like when the ornithopters are flying across the Arrakis desert. It's flawless. It looks absolutely, and the thing is, it looks completely realistic. And what people don't understand is it's not just the quality of the effects, of the effects. It's the design of the shot itself.
Yeah.
It's how do you shoot something and make it look realistic? Because we see the world in a certain way. So when you're doing a great visual effects shot, the way that you design the shot and how it would be how it would fit into human perception is part of that. And when you see the way the air looks in Dune, when the ornithopters fly through a heated desert environment, it's the air itself. It's not even just the ships flying. The look of that film is astonishing. It looks like they went to Arrakis and shot the movie there. I mean, it really does.
High praise. It's
that good. And I would say that it's the visual effects are some of the best ever done. And that's a testament to everybody that worked on the movie. And also Foundation, shout out to that show.
Oh, God, I love
because
that show so much.
the effects on that show were incredibly ambitious for a TV show. And again, it's about the design of the shots, the look of the shots, the color palette of the shots. But Dune's an astonishing effects achievement. Really is.
Aaron, do you think this is a precursor to the Oscars? Do you think another one of the movies that was nominated might have a front? Or do you think Dune was the right winner and we can expect that to win at the Oscars?
Well, especially for the reasons why you and Rob just spoke about, I think that this is going to really change the way that we talk about visual effects. So just to run down some of the other nominees in this category, we had Godzilla vs. Kong, The Matrix Resurrections, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. And, in most of these projects, I would say maybe Shang-Chi, not necessarily. A lot of the visual effects are the actual practical effects. Oh, no, sorry. That totally contradicted. The effects that we're talking about with visual effects, most people think about the rings spinning in the air,
right,
or the creation of Godzilla the monster. Actual things that are not real, but are created. And with Dune, we're talking about an entire world where you think that world is real and you can't tell what's been shot on green screen and what hasn't. And that is a game changer, because now we're talking about filming movies in places that just don't exist, in a way that we've seen occasionally, like what was the James Cameron
Avatar?
Avatar. We've seen it, but Dune, I feel like, really has changed the game on this, in making people question, am I actually watching a real place or am I watching a green screen?
Yeah.
In Avatar, we knew that we were watching green screen, and it was, I think, by design. We weren't supposed to think this is a real place per se. Whereas Dune, it actually makes you question your own reality, and I think that's a game changer in the world of visual effects. And the same,
they did shoot Second Unit on Pandora.
They actually went to Pandora.
Yeah.
and got their shots there. But at the bottom line, though, should we expect to see Dune take the top prize
absolutely.
at the Academy Awards?
I mean, there's the same nominees.
Right.
The only one that's different is Free Guy. Actually, Free Guy was nominated for an Academy Award for visual effects, but was not nominated for the VES Awards. But given the fact that it's probably the same people voting for the VES Awards as
a lot of them would be.
A lot of there's going to be a lot of crossover. So if we see that Dune is the big winner for VES, I'm assuming that most of those voters are Academy members in the visual effects category as well. So I would not be surprised if we saw Dune being a big sweep for visual effects at the Academy Awards too.
John, can I ask you a question about this?
Absolutely.
This is just a philosophical question I'm asking you.
Okay.
Having you worked
Getting deep today.
That you worked in the visual effects industry.
Yes.
Obviously, like the sea battle in Godzilla versus Kong was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and that whole sequence was visual effects. I mean, you've got aircraft carriers and Godzilla and Kong fighting. You've got water effects, all that stuff, which were, as far as monsters fighting,
looked great.
The greatest thing, I mean, one of the great effects sequences ever. So that sequence is an amazing bit of visual effects work. And I loved it. But on the other hand, I personally am looking for that experience when you can't, you don't know that you're looking at effects.
You can't distinguish between reality and what's on the screen.
Right. And with Dune, it's the same thing. Everything with the cityscapes and the vehicles and the sandworms and all that. But how do you judge that? Like Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong, those are some of the best monster fighting effects ever. And then, so do you, like, in my mind, I kind of personally, my personal preference is I give Dune the edge because it creates the world, but I personally think that I love Godzilla versus Kong too, but I'm biased. Do you feel that bias is real, or how do you feel about philosophically?
I think it's a part of it is learning to separate the scene from the effects in the scene, right? So like if you look at Godzilla versus Kong, part of the thing that is so memorable to me, the effects are very good in it. They're very, very good in it. But the scene is the fight. And that's what is memorable to me, the fight, all that kind of stuff. So then you're looking at how well did the visual effects make that feel inseparable from reality? And so when I'm watching Godzilla versus Kong, when I watch that scene, as great as it is, most of my hype is coming from the action of the scene and what's actually happening in the scene, as opposed to how well are the visual effects making it happen. And the visual effects were great. But when I look at Dune, it's that indistinguishability. I can't tell what's real and what's not. I can't tell. Did they go out to the Arizona desert and shoot this? Did they and that kind of becomes that difference, right? That becomes a separator, because you look at Captain America Civil War and the big airport battle, right? Are those really the greatest visual effects, or is just that a really great, memorable scene that the effects help and are great in? So yeah, to me, it's about when the effects create that indistinguishable barrier between what's real and what's not.
Well, like in The Lion King, the most recent one, I was like,
crazy.
that is actually a squirrel. That's a real squirrel.
They trained a squirrel.
They trained a squirrel. I mean, eagle. No one will ever convince me that's not a real eagle. You will never convince me that a real eagle did not hug John Cena.
But you know, it's interesting because to me, could you ever believe that Godzilla and King Kong exist? I mean, in our minds, no matter how good the effects are, we know in real life that could never happen. It could never exist. But so it doesn't matter. But Dune, maybe it could.
I don't know. The sandworm, the butthole monster comes out of the ground. And it's like, I just believed we were there. I mean, look
I know,
at,
and that's the thing.
Thanos,
the sandworm is a kaiju, essentially.
It is. And then you look
yeah.
at like, again, I was just saying Thanos, right? This complete fairy tale kind of character, but you never doubted for a second he was standing there with them.
He's the greatest motion capture CG character ever.
I might still
That's
think
not makeup?
that might be Caesar.
That's not hair and makeup. I feel like that's hair and makeup.
That's the thing about
I feel like that's hair and makeup.
Caesar's. The thing is, Caesar's pretty good, but we know. I mean, and not pretty good. It's incredible. What they did with Caesar was incredible. But Thanos, the fact that he was an unreal character and that it made you believe in him that much. I mean, that face.
But you and I have often talked about this, that sometimes things that are real in real life are the harder things to do to make us believe that was an ape. It was crazy. Anyway, guys, we need to move on. But the question is for you. Dune cleans up at the Visual Effects Awards. Do you expect to see it clean up as well at the Academy Awards? What do you guys think about it? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Keeps. Now look, you guys probably already know that 2 out of every 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're just 35 years old. Now that's where Keeps comes in, because Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. That means the guys that use it love it. Keeps offers a simple, affordable, and stress-free way to keep your hair. It's also low cost. Treatments start as low as just $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions for the 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. That means treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. Keeps has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging and proven results. Remember, prevention is the key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so the sooner you act, the better. When it comes to your hair, save more, spend less with Keeps. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, that's KEEPS.com/Campea to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/Campea to get your first month free. Keeps.com/Campea.